Hello guys and welcome to my new video. Green Steel is one of the top decks in the current format, and before the upcoming set championships and nationals, if you're still looking for a deck, this might be for you. Before we dive into the deck list, don't forget to subscribe for more Lorcana videos, and now have fun, let's go. So I am back with another deck profile video, and today I have Green Steel for you. Let's have a look at the complete list. Like always, you will find a link in the video description below to check out the list, to test it immediately online. There are like two ways to play Green Steel right now. You either go the Touch the Paradise way or the Darkwing Duck package. And I tested both and I found the Darkwing Duck package fits my playstyle more, because I like the higher damage outburst you can generate with this deck, with this kind of build. Like go over all the cards in detail. Talking about the one-drop characters, we have Pegasus for early evasive and lore aggression. We have Darkwing Duck, not to function as a shift target, but to be a good start for other follow-up cards like the Terraflaps in the night or Launchpad. And also, of course, in the one-drop slot, we have Taught to function not only as a shift target, but also to play Vixie for one in class, which can be very crucial to have a thing as 3 in turn 2 available. So those are my one-drop characters. I have 12 in total, which gives me the opportunity to go wide in certain games where it's needed, to have a higher damage outburst with Strength of a Raging Fire. Let's get those one-drop characters out of the way. In a two-drop slot, of course, you need to play her right now because there are so many action songs. We have Ursula, Deceiver, look at the opponent's hand, rip a song card. Can be really good, especially in the mirror or against other song-heavy decks like yellow-green, for example. Ursula Deceiver came in clutch in so many games for me. Such a good card. I have 3 copies of Violeta Par, 2-cost inkable character, 3 strength, 2 willpower, quest 1. She has resist 1, and the resist 1 is very good actually, not only in steel matchups, but also into like those faster aggro decks. They're exerting into you, you have to challenge. 3 strength is pretty okay-ish, but the resist +1 makes her so sturdy, she rarely gets any damage. Your opponent has to run another character into her to take her out. So Violeta Par is a puzzle piece you really need, and what she also does with her 3 strength, followed up by an Angela, she can challenge for 5, has resist +3 for example, so she rarely takes any damage from other challenges, from other characters. So Violeta Par is a puzzle piece you need to challenge early on into the game. And like I said, Darkwing Duck functions as a puzzle piece for follow-up cards like Launchpad, 2-cost uninkable card, 2 strength, 3 willpower, quest 1, and you can exert him to draw a card and discard a card also, unless you have a Darkwing Duck character in play. So if you go like Darkwing Duck in turn 1, Launchpad in turn 2, you can draw a card in turn 3 and then like adjust your follow-up play, which can be really good. But also later in the game, Launchpad functions as your card draw engine if you have a Darkwing Duck character on board, and we run like 7 Darkwing Duck characters, so it's possible to have both on board drawing cards and you don't have to discard. And speaking of follow-up cards of Darkwing Duck, we have 3 copies of the Terraflaps in the night, 2-cost inkable action. You can deal 2 damage to chosen character, but if you have a Darkwing Duck character in play, you can deal 3 damage instead. So if you're like on the play, go Darkwing Duck and your opponent throws something at you, which is like, okay, he shifts or whatever, or you're also on the draw, it can be really good to take the turn to ram from your opponent. Deal 3 damage early on, and damage can take out pretty much every 1 or 2 drop character we are finding in the game right now. And also later in the game, 2 or 3 damage can make the difference. That's it for the 2-drop slot. Talking about 3-drop slot, we are having Vixie in the game, 4 copies of her, 3-cost inkable character, 1 strength, 3 willpower, quests for 2, and if you have a Taught character in play, you can play her in turn 2 already with 1 in class, and she has evasive. So going the Taught and Vixie line can set up a turn 3, a 3-cost singer in turn 2 already. So if you like up against, I don't know what deck, but you have a Strength of a Raging Fire in hand, you can go Taught, Vixie, drop another 1 or 2 characters in turn 3, and then sing Strength of Raging Fire with Vixie early on in the game. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. And she has Evasive, so she's barely touchable by your opponent. You take out the threat, sing Strength of Raging Fire early on with Vixie. And also later in the game, if you have a Todd character in play, you just drop multiple Vixies, threaten 2 lore each, and they have all Evasive, which is pretty strong. So also in a 3-drop slot, we have 3 copies of the uninkable Darkwing Duck from set 13. 2 strength, 5 willpower, quests for 1. When you play this character, you can deal 1 damage. That 1 damage doesn't do much, but what I really like about Darkwing Duck is he's a good follow-up card for a launchpad. So if you didn't find your Darkwing Duck in a 1-drop slot, you can follow up in turn 3 with this Darkwing Duck. Also trigger launchpad's ability, only drawing cards, not to having discard. And his 5 health is so good. He's like, I mean, he doesn't deal much damage, but if you quest, your opponent usually has to send like 2 characters into Darkwing Duck to take him out. And this is all what we want. This is what we want. We're dealing a damage. We have a good body on board. We're questing, and your opponent has to send 2 of his characters into Darkwing Duck, taking out your 3-drop character, which is insane actually. A tech card I added, or we find in like a lot of green steel lists right now. Angela, 3-cost inkable character, 2 strength, 3 willpower, quests for 1. When you play this character, you choose 1 character of yours to give him Challenger +2 and Resist +2, and your gargoyles lose their Stone by Day ability. So if you exert Angela, have 3 or more cards in hand, she will ready at the start of your turn. What Angela does is against like faster decks with bodyguards, high willpower, she gives that plus Challenger. Your character gains the Resist +2 as well. You can overcome higher willpower characters, go into the challenge mode, and take out those characters. After like, I don't know, 20-25 games, I included this card because I found Lenny is such an important card right now, and I don't think 2 copies are enough, but I just need to play Lenny. 3-cost inkable card, 0 strength, 2 willpower, quests for 1. When you play this character, your opponent reveals his hand, and you can discard an action card from your choice, and once per turn, if you play an action, you can ready Lenny without restrictions. So you could like sing a song with Lenny, which is also important. Like, I had games, I played a 1-drop, I played Ursula Deceiver, in turn 2 saw he has a song, he has another action card, I followed up with a Lenny, took another action from my opponent's hand, and in the next turn I sang like Strength of a Raging Fire with Lenny, rereaded him, quested. It's insane. So Lenny opens up so many good lines, and against all those song and action heavy decks, Lenny is a very good option in turn 3 as well. Another 3-drop character, we have the new legendary Mushu, functions as our evasive draw engine if you're like on the play. It's a very good turn 3 play as well. When he quests and your opponent has more cards in hand, you draw a card. A card right now being on the chopping block. I cut his number from 4 to 3, then now down to 2, Max Goof. He's a 3-cost inkable character, he quests to 1, and when you play this character, you can pay 1 ink to get a 3-cost action or song back from your discard. We only run 4 copies of Strength of Raging Fire, and this is why Max Goof is on the chopping block. I don't think you can justify 2 slots of a card being like only very situational and comes in play like, I don't know, he's ink most of the time. I rather ramp up Lenny, for example, or Angela, or anything else, maybe another Tarot Flaps in Night. I think Max Goof is good in some situations where you can play in early Strength of Raging Fire, or your opponent rips it from your hand. You can play Max Goof in turn 4 with 4 ink. But still, I think Max Goof, he's on the chopping block, but I like him in some situations to get a Strength of Raging Fire back to your hand, play it again. Yeah, and talking Strength of Raging Fire, of course, 4 copies of the best steel removal song we have in the game. I think count your characters, deal damage equal to your characters on board to chosen opposing character, which is very good if you can sing it early on. Protected against all the green decks being played right now. They all play Ursula, they all play Lenny, so protect your Strength of a Raging Fire. that's it for the 3-drop slot. Let's get those out of the way. We're almost done with the deck. Only a couple cards left. 4-drop slot. We have 3 copies of the new Todd and Copper team-up card. 4-cost inkable, 3 strength, 3 willpower, quest for 2. He has evasive, of course. And you can shift him with 2 ink on your smaller Todd or Copper characters. We run the 1-drop Todd. In some games you wanna shift because you wanna run away with your evasive high-lower questers early on in the game. But I found like he's right now kind of overrated. That's why I cut him down to 3 copies. Still a very good card, to be honest. Evasive, 2 lore, good body, and early shift is never a bad thing. But right now I feel like, yeah, you don't need him in every game. You rather want to go wide and make much usage of strength of a raging fire. To deal otherwise with your opponent's board, we have 2 copies of Rapunzel from set 13, 4 copies inkable, 3 strength, 3 willpower, quests for 1. When you play this character, you can discard 1 card from your hand to send 1 character back to its opponent's hand, which can be really good if he's preparing like a setup for a shift, a setup for a song or whatever. You just send it back to your hand, and yeah, you build up so much momentum because you're dropping a character, sending 1 back to his opponent's hand. Sing a 4, sing Strength the Raging Fire, sing Thunderbolt. So very good card. Only 2 copies of her. I think 2 is enough. Because you don't, in most games you don't want to self-discard yourself if you don't have a draw engine going. So I think 2 copies of Rapunzel are enough. We have 3 copies of Angel. Speaking of self-discard, you can, once per turn, you can discard a card to deal 2 damage. If you have no hand cards, Angel gets resist +2. Against those aggro decks, Angel is such an important card. So if you're noticing you're up against an aggro deck, you want to get access to Angel immediately. Maybe I ramp it up to 4 copies. Like I said, if I chop Max Goof, I probably go with 1 more Lanny, 1 more Angel, for example. If aggro decks become more and more relevant in the meta game. So I think Angel, important card. Also Singer 4, which is important as well. And with her resist +2, if you have no cards in hand, she's a good challenge as well, taking no damage in challenges and in from your opponent in general. 2 more cards left. I have 2 copies of Thunderbolt. I think no more words needed. 4-cost uninkable action song, dealing 4 damage. I had 4 copies in my initial list. Then I dropped down to 3, and now I think 2 is a good spot. We have 12 uninkable cards in this build, unfortunately, with Eleanor, with Launchpad and stuff. And I think 2 Thunderbolts are enough. We don't have that much stingers. We don't need it early on in the game usually. But to have 2 as a backup is a very good number. And to finish off this deck list, of course, I had to run 4 copies of Eleanor, 4-cost uninkable card, 3 strength for willpower, quests for 1. And at the end of your turn, if you have 3 characters exerted, you get to get 1 lore, you draw a card, and you can deal 1 damage. If you chain multiple Eleanors back-to-back turns, you can trigger twice. Or I had a game, I had 3 Eleanors on board, I exerted everyone, deal 3 lore, 3 cards, 3 damage, which is amazing. And yeah, I think if you're up against a deck where you need to go wide early on, you can like drop multiple characters in turn 2. You have 4 or 5 characters to exert. Eleanor is a good turn 4 play and still needed in this meta and wins you so many games. Overall, I like the consistency of this build. I might change a couple things here and there after more testing games, but so far, after like 30 or 40 games, I'm sitting at around 70% win rate with this Green Steel Darkwing Duck build. Like I said in the beginning, if you want to copy it, you will find a link in the video description below. If you're new to the channel, I'm always happy about new viewers. We're doing more deck profile videos going into like the LCQs and the set championships coming in September. So click subscribe. Leave a like on the video and always also comment what would you change, how do you like the deck list. Thanks for watching, see you next time, Flokki.